welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah and this is Jar of Fireflies. Here I make videos all about my life as an Orthodox Jewish homeschooling mother of 4. And today we're cooking soup. That's right, folks, the weather has been cold and rainy and dreary, and after we talked in a couple of videos ago about soup, I have been such in the mood to try so many of these suggestions that you guys gave. Definitely can't try them all, at least not in this video, but I did pick a few that you guys suggested and I found some recipes and we're gonna be making them and I'm so excited. Okay, so 4 soups that we'll be doing in this video. Super stoked. I'll have recipes down in the description box, but I'll show how I'm making them here in the video as well. And yeah, let's do this. Okay, so the first soup that we are gonna be making, I'm making it here for dinner tonight, which is great because we spent the whole day outside in this like kind of dreary, drizzly weather. So we're super stoked for some soup. Anyways, the first soup that we're gonna be doing is potato and leek soup. We all love potatoes because who doesn't like potatoes? Maybe some people don't like potatoes, don't come at me. I love potatoes. My family loves potatoes. Anyways, potatoes and then leeks. I love leeks. I absolutely love leeks. And I know the kids all love kakaliki soup, which is like a chicken soup with leeks in it. Scottish food. Anyways, so I figure potato and leek soup might be a big hit. So we will find out in a little bit. Let's make some soup. Okay, so I found this recipe for potato leek soup from Once Upon a Chef. I'll link to it, of course, down in the description box below, like I said. And I am gonna be making this dairy-free. They have it as a dairy soup with heavy cream and butter. So I'm going to be using soy milk and Smart Balance. I also need a bunch of these yellow potatoes. Recipe calls for 4 leeks. I'm going to use 6 because I love leeks and these came in bundles of 3. Need some garlic, gotta peel that and smash that. You need a little bit of thyme. Also some bay leaves and some veggie broth. Okay, let's start putting this soup together.
So I started out by prepping some of the ingredients. I was cutting up the leeks. The recipe calls for the leeks to be chopped, not just sliced or anything like that. So I cut them into chunks and then cut each of those chunks in half. And then I washed them all very well. Next, I peeled the potatoes and I chopped those up into smaller pieces as well. The recipe called for 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter, but I just used this scoop of Earth Balance. And then once that was melted, I added in my garlic, which I had peeled, smashed, and chopped 3 cloves worth. And then I added in all of those leeks and gave that a stir and let that go for about 10 minutes until the leeks were pretty wilted. Next, I added in my 2 pounds of potatoes, which I had already peeled and chopped, followed by 7 cups of vegetable broth, 2 bay leaves, and 3 sprigs of fresh thyme. Then I added in a little bit of ground black pepper and some salt. All right, once all those ingredients were in there, I gave it all a little stir. Then I placed the lid on the pot, brought it up to a simmer, and let that simmer for about 15 minutes until the potatoes were soft. All right, before I pull out the immersion blender, I first took out the bay leaves and the thyme sprigs here from the soup. So this is actually my first time using an immersion blender, and I have to say it was really so much fun. If you don't have one in your kitchen, I highly recommend getting one. And I say this as someone who is not a fan of kitchen gadgets. Okay, now that the soup was fully immersed, I don't know, whatever, blended, I'm adding in 1 cup of soy milk. The recipe itself had called for cream or milk, but I wanted to keep this soup dairy-free, so I used the soy milk and it turned out just fine. I let that simmer for a little bit longer, just a few more minutes to get everything nice and hot again. And wow, guys, this soup looks so good. Everyone was so excited to try it, so I scooped it up into some bowls so that we can have our dinner and give this new soup a try.
All right, moment of truth. Let's try it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol niyeh bidvaro. Okay, yes, highly recommend. This is really good. And it's hot. Okay, I'm gonna go sit down with the family and eat our soup. We just served it with some bread, so they're just like dipping bread in their soup and whatever. So that's dinner tonight. But stay tuned, I'll be making soup again soon in this video. Hello, and we are back. We are ready for another soup. It is another day. It's actually a few days later, and we're making another soup tonight. So tonight, we are going to be making one of my childhood favorites, tomato and rice. Now, I grew up eating the Campbell's tomato and rice soup in the little red and white cans. Well, that's not kosher, so I'm not eating that these days. And I actually haven't had tomato rice soup in a very long time, but I love tomato soup. And the rice just adds like a heartiness to it that I think is really super yum. So I found a recipe online from a blog called May I Have That Recipe, and it is for tomato and rice soup. Okay, so what do we need for said tomato and rice soup? We're gonna need a little bit of olive oil, a large onion, which we are going to dice momentarily. It calls for a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. I do not have that, but I do have two 15-ounce cans of crushed tomatoes that I picked up at Central Market the other day. So we are gonna go with that, and we're gonna have 30 ounces of crushed tomatoes. That's how we're doing this recipe. We are going to need half a cup of rice, which I have not gotten yet, but I did get my half measuring cup ready to go, so I'll have that here in a second. 3 cups of water, which I did go ahead and get ready, and some salt, which we keep in a Tupperware on the counter because we use a lot of salt. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is dice the onion and saute it. And I'm just gonna do everything in my soup pot of the day, which is this one. So yes, a different soup pot than last time. And it'll be probably a different soup pot next time, but that's just how it goes in our house. I take what is available and I use it. But I kind of feel like that's a pretty decent soup pot. So anyways, I'm gonna start by dicing up that onion and getting it in there to saute with our olive oil. 2 tablespoons of olive oil, which I will not measure. So let's go.
All right, let's prep some more soup ingredients. All of these soups seems to start with an onion, and I'm finding that to be a pretty solid choice for sure. So anyways, I'm using one of Mr. Fireflies knives today, so I'm feeling like a real grown-up, and this is chopping the onion so much easier. But anyways, I'm chopping up that onion and adding that into my pot with a little bit of olive oil. And then I'm just gonna give that a stir and let that go for about 10 minutes or so that those onions can get nice and translucent. At that point, I can add in 2 cans of crushed tomatoes, 3 cups of water, and about a half teaspoon or so of salt. All right, now I'm just gonna give that a little stir, get everything nice and blended together. I'm bringing it up to a boil, and then I'm reducing the heat to medium and then adding in my half of a cup of rice. I'm gonna give that a stir again to make sure that that rice is fully blended in there with the rest of the soup ingredients. And now I'm just gonna let that simmer for about 15 minutes or until the rice begins to soften.
Okay, so at this point, the soup is done. I've turned off the heat, not really done. It's done cooking, really. I've turned the heat off, and now it sits here for 10 minutes so the rice can completely finish cooking. So in 10 minutes, we'll serve it up. I've got some grilled cheese cooking over there too, so we're having tomato soup and grilled cheese for dinner tonight. Okay, so the kids are over there enjoying their tomato soup and grilled cheese, and baby Firefly is letting me know he's here. Okay, moment of truth, it's a little bit hot. I will say the soup is like a lot thicker than I would have expected. So what I would do next time is, like before I've even tasted it, is either more liquid or less rice. So it's like almost like, it's just like almost like very stewy. So, all right, Here we go. I will say the flavor though is super good. I might even cook it a little bit longer, the tomatoes next time, before I add the rice. So I think what I would do next time is like an extra cup of water and cook it maybe like just even like 10-15 minutes longer on the tomatoes. And but everything is really good. I like the onion flavor in there. You could even add a little basil. I think that'd be super yum. So yeah, the onions are perfect. The rice is very good. I don't even mind that it's like a lot of rice, that it's pretty thick. Okay, I am way too much overanalyzing this, thinking out loud. It's good. I'm gonna go eat now. The family is over there at the table with their grilled cheese and soup, so I'm gonna take my soup and go over there and join them and enjoy my dinner. All right, I'll see you guys back here in a few moments, for you, with a new soup. Hey friends, and we are back. It's another day and another soup. And okay, funny story. The soup that I had planned for today, my family ate all the ingredients for. Yes, I was going to make a soup with sweet potato, which Mr. Firefly ate, and some apple, which one of my kids ate, and carrots, which oddly I only have 2 carrots left. I have this huge bag of orange carrots and they are disappeared. So that happened. Okay, so instead, I am taking a cue from you guys. A lot of you guys suggested a soup, which you all had a lot of different names for, but it was basically kind of like, someone called it a back of the fridge soup. It's kind of that clean out the fridge and what do you got and make a soup out of it. So that's what we're going to do today. So it's not necessarily a recipe that I'm giving over, but more of a concept of soup that you could do in your house. Okay, so I went through the fridge just now. Well, first I grabbed my handy soup pot. I found some tarragon that is reaching its end of days and some thyme that probably won't last too much longer. I got half an onion, some meat that nobody's really eating and I probably need to eat it today or it's not gonna be any good anymore. So we're gonna put that in the soup. But since this meat is already fully cooked, I'm not gonna add this into the soup until like the soup is ready to eat, and then I'll like add the meat in at the very end, just enough to warm it up. 2 containers of open vegetable broth. So that definitely needs to get used up. A bunch of celery, my 2 little orange carrots, this whole bag of parsnips. So that's gonna be our soup. Okay, so to start with, I'm gonna cut up that onion and put it in the pot with just a little bit of olive oil and then kind of cook that up until the onion is translucent. That tends to be the first step of pretty much any soup recipe. I think it works pretty well, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, let's make back of the fridge soup.
All right, since all of the soup seems to start out with the onion, I'm gonna go ahead and do that first. So I'm chopping up my onion and I'm gonna add that into the pot with a little bit of olive oil, and then I'm just gonna give it a stir and saute that for about 10 minutes until my onion is translucent. Other than that, the rest of this soup is really just throwing ingredients into the pot, but I kind of like that first step. It really seems to work well on all the other soup recipes. And now that I've made soup like 4 or 5 times, I'm feeling like an expert. But anyways, we're chopping up the celery here and chopping up the carrots, and then we'll add those into the pot once that onion is translucent. I'm chopping up that parsnip as well. By the way, oldest Firefly helped me peel all these vegetables, so that was a huge help. And also, this little cutting board from IKEA seems to be perfect for soup ingredients because you can kind of dump the whole cutting board in the pot and nothing falls out. Okay, now with all the veggies in there, I'm adding in that leftover vegetable broth and those wilting herbs. There wasn't quite enough vegetable broth for my liking, so I did add in some water extra additionally to the broth, and then I topped it all off with a little bit of salt before giving it all a stir.
Okay, so we are gonna let that simmer here for about an hour, and then I can cut up that meat and add it in, and I'll see if I feel like it needs me to throw in some pasta or something like that. We don't have any leftover pasta or rice in the fridge, but I see no problem with adding some later, but we'll get there when we get there. For now, simmer for an hour. Thanks, baby Firefly. Okay, back in an hour.
All right, here an hour later, once that soup was done, I just started scooping it up. I did remove the sticks of the herbs, but mostly I just scooped it up. I didn't immerse this one or anything. Is that the verb? I'm making it be the verb today. But anyways, there's the soup.
Okay, so in the end, we decided not to add the meat to the soup, just to keep it vegetarian. It's very good. Tastes just like a veggie soup. So yay for back of the fridge soup. I'm sure we'll be doing this one again.
I'm really happy to have this soup as a concept. I think knowing that so many other people did it really gave me the, I guess, like encouragement or like, I don't know, affirmation, something that I could do this and that it would turn out okay. So it did. And I'm very excited to be able to do this again. Also, the person who liked this soup and probably all the soups best was baby Firefly. He went to town on this veggie soup.
Hello and welcome back. It's a new day and it's a new soup. This one I am making for our Friday night Shabbat dinner. It's Thursday night while I'm making it, but I'll be able to make it tonight, try it, give you a full report, and then I'll save it in the fridge until tomorrow night when we will eat it with our Shabbat dinner. Okay, so today's soup is one that I've been super duper excited about. It is from Once Upon a Chef, and it is an autumn carrot and sweet potato soup. I love carrot, like anything like carrot muffins, which I made this morning. It's super delicious. Carrots are just amazing and sweet potatoes are amazing. I feel like together that would be fun. Plus it will be orange and that sounds fun too. Okay, I am deviating from the recipe just a little bit because why wouldn't I? Okay, so the first it calls for 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I'm gonna use just a scoop of this Smart Balance. It calls for 2 medium onions. I'm using 3 small ones. It calls for curry powder. I'm not using that because nobody in this house likes curry powder and I don't even think we own it. Okay, Mr. Firefly has informed me that we have something better than curry powder for this soup called Hawaiij. This. So it's a mix of spices. I don't know what's in here. I don't know. Literally the ingredients are spices. So it's a soup mix. We're gonna use that instead. And what else? A pound of carrots, 1.5 pounds of sweet potato, 8 cups of chicken broth, a little salt, a little honey, and an apple. Not too tart, but not like a Red Delicious either. I took the tag off of this, so I don't know what it is anymore, but it's probably like a Fuji or a Honeycrisp or something. All right, and then a little freshly ground pepper. But I'm gonna flip the camera around. We're gonna start prepping these ingredients and getting things in our pot.
All right, how are we starting this soup? You guessed it, we're chopping up our onion and we're adding it into our pot. And then I'm gonna add in a little bit of this Smart Balance. I'm not measuring again, just adding it in, melting that down, sauteing those onions until they are translucent. I've got oldest Firefly again helping me. That's why there are extra hands in the screen here and there. He's peeling vegetables and just having the time of his life. He really loves to help out in the kitchen. Okay, now I'm just chopping up those sweet potatoes and carrots. And then once that onion is translucent, I can add in my seasoning. And then I'm just gonna stir that a little bit, let that go for about 1 more minute just to get those flavors to really melt in there with the onion and the oil before adding in my sweet potatoes and my carrots. Last step here in this part of the soup making process is to add in my 8 cups of chicken broth.
Okay, that is gonna simmer for about 25 minutes and then we'll come back to the soup and do more things. Okay, so the recipe had said to let the soup simmer for about 25 minutes or until the sweet potatoes and carrots were soft. That definitely took longer than 25 minutes. It was probably closer to about 40 minutes or so. But anyways, they're nice and soft now. So I'm gonna go in with the immersion blender and combine all of those ingredients. All right, so I just realized that I forgot to add the apple in, though the soup smells super amazing and delicious now. It probably doesn't even need an apple, but the instructions call for it, so we're gonna do it anyways. Okay, so since I forgot, I just diced it up kind of small, and then I'm gonna add that in with a little bit of honey and do the little puree thingy again with the immersion blender, and then we should be done. Let's do it. It is getting the baby Firefly stamp of approval. He's a big fan. Okay, I haven't even tried it yet. Okay, I'm gonna try it now. Oh, that's really good. Okay, I like this.
Is there any onion?
Try it.
That is good. That is so good, Iman.
I'm so glad.
Careful.
Okay. That is it. This soup I'm going to put in the fridge to save for tomorrow night. You can hear baby Firefly begging for more, but don't worry, Mr. Firefly is taking care of him. All right, and then that is it for this video. That is 4 delicious soups that I'm so excited to be able to mix into our rotation here at the Firefly household. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, hit that like button. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because I would love to see you here again. All right, and with that, we are done. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in my next upload. You're also gonna... Hello and welcome back. Well, welcome back for me, probably not for you. Maybe, I don't know if there was a commercial break in there. We shall see. Anyways, that was ridiculous. Okay. Hello again, and now, I thought I had purple carrots. I guess I did not. Maybe they weren't. Baby Firefly is moving around the camera. Okay.
We have curry.
Oh, we do? Should I put it in the soup?
If you want.
Nah.
We have something better than that, okay?
Okay, I just realized that I forgot to add the... Okay. Oh, but if you pick, it's mostly... All right.